The following dialogue is derived from lunatic propagandist Sean Hannity's show. We are using our actors to demonstrate the extreme bias of his Fox talking points. This isn't journalism. It is fraud propaganda.
Can you believe it? The Republican Iowa caucus is just a week away. We're expecting the full results next Monday, but the Democrats' numbers might take a while due to their complicated mail-in system and calendar changes.
It seems pretty clear that Biden will be the Democratic nominee, despite everything. But why? His presidency hasn't been impressive, and his approval ratings are really low.
I heard that Biden's team didn't even inform him when his Secretary of Defense was in the ICU. It makes you wonder about the communication within the administration.
Thinking about it, what if there was a major crisis and we needed the Secretary of Defense? The fact that Biden wasn't informed is quite concerning.
Biden's routine seems to be mostly sleeping, eating, and taking vacations. It's rare to see him doing much else.
Now Dr. Jill Biden is stepping in more, even managing the president's daily schedule. She's also representing him in interviews.
It's becoming a common sight to see the First Lady assisting a confused Biden off stage after his speeches. It was particularly noticeable after his event near Valley Forge.
Biden's trying to draw parallels with George Washington, but he's coming off more like an angry, confused politician who's desperately clinging to power.
His speech was full of the same old rhetoric, demonizing MAGA Republicans and obsessing over January 6th. He seems to ignore the violence and riots from the summer of 2020.
Speaking of 2020, remember how his vice president promoted a bail fund for the perpetrators in Minneapolis? Yet, no commission was formed to investigate those riots.
With all the property damage and injuries to police from those riots, it's surprising there hasn't been more investigation or arrests.
Biden recently used a tragic event in South Carolina to push his political agenda, which seems to be all about fear, hatred, and loathing.
Trump's campaign seems to be all about him, not focusing on America or its future.
Trump's not being secretive about his intentions. He's openly promising a campaign of revenge and retribution.
His campaign is trying to erase history and your future, with their stance on things like book banning and voting rights.
It's all about democracy being in peril, Trump, MAGA Republicans, and fear-mongering. That seems to be the narrative.
Instead of uniting the nation, it looks like Biden is following Eric Holder's advice of, they go low, we kick them. It's a divisive approach.
It's not just about Biden's frailty. It's more about how both campaigns are steeped in negativity and division.
You'd think leaders would focus on unity and progress, but it feels like we're stuck in a cycle of anger and resentment.
At the end of the day, it's not just about who leads, but how they lead. Right now, it feels like leadership is more about power than people. Yeah, right. Thank God this bullshit narrative is over. I hate Fox News.